Ray Douglas Bradbury was born in Waukegan, Illinois on August 22, 1920. He is the son of Leonard and Esther Bradbury. He attended Los Angeles High School, and his education did not go further than high school. In high school, Ray wanted to be an actor, but instead his teachers encouraged him to become a writer, so he joined poetry club and found his passion for writing. In 1946, Ray met his future wife, Marguerite or Maggie Mickler, in a bookshop. They were married in the Church of the Good Shepherd on September 27, 1947. Ray and Maggie had 4 daughters, Susan, Ramona, Bettina, and Alexandra. Ray Bradbury's first published short story, Holler Bochen's Dilemma, was printed in an amateur magazine called Imagination. In 1938, another one of his short stories printed of his were Futuria, Fantasia, and Pendulum. One of his short stories was selected for Best American Short Stories. In 1947, Ray's first collection of short stories, Dark Carnival, were published. One of Ray's best-known book, Fahrenheit451, was released in 1953. Bradbury has won many honors and awards, including O. Henry Memorial Award, the Benjamin Franklin Award, the Aviation Space Writers Association Award for the Best Space Article in an American Magazine. He also won the World Fantasy Award for Lifetime Achievement and the Grand Master Award from the Science Fiction Writers of America. Much of Bradbury's work has been created into Hollywood productions, including The Beast from 20,000 Fathoms, a version from his story The Froghorn, Something Wicked This Way Comes, Fahrenheit 451, and director John Huston's version of Moby Dick. His animated film, Icarus Montgolfier Right, was nominated for an Academy Award. Today, Ray and Maggie Bradbury continue to live in Los Angeles. They have 8 grandchildren and 4 cats. Ray Bradbury still continues to write lectures today.
The Exposition. Guy Montag is a fireman who burns books in futuristic America. He meets Clarice, and she begins to make him start thinking about things in more detail. She opens his eyes to the emptiness of his life. The Rising Action. The rising action is when Montag begins to question his job of burning books. He watches a woman choose to burn when the fireman comes to her house because she has books at her house. Then he steals a book from her house. The climax. Montag shows his wife his books, and she makes a call to the fireman. Montag ends up killing Beatty when he arrives to his house. The Falling Action. The Falling Action is when Montag's trip out to the country. The Resolution. The Resolution is when the city is bombed and destroyed, and Montag and his group have a chance to rebuild the new era.
Guy Montag, a third-generation fireman who suddenly realizes the emptiness of his life and starts looking for the deeper meaning of life and turns to the books he is supposed to be burning. He is determined to break free from society's ignorance. Clarice McClellan is a pretty 17-year-old who introduces Montag to the world's potential for beauty and its meaning. She is an outcast because of her habits, like simply just wanting to be outside. Mildred Montag is Montag's brittle, sickly-looking wife who is obsessed with watching TV and is very self-absorbed. Captain Beatty is the captain of Montag's fire department. Although he is very well read himself, he hates anyone who reads or wants to read. He is very cunning and devious. Professor Faber is a retired English professor who refuses to speak out against the burning of books because of his and society's cowardice. He ends up taking great courage and puts himself in considerable danger for him and Montag.
The setting of Fahrenheit 451. Overcrowded, mechanized pleasure-seeking. The setting is futuristic, which society and communities have seized all books as a source of knowledge. Instead of putting out fire, firemen are interested in tracking people that have disobeyed the law of having books, and they confiscate the books, while destroying immunity treasures within a home. The setting has to do with censoring out anything the people didn't want, such as workbooks, Bibles, textbooks, novels, nonfictions and fictions, autobiographies, and biographies. Therefore, the technology that was made really enforced the society to give up history and knowledge about the world. School is shortened, discipline is relaxed, the philosophies, histories, and language is dropped, English and spelling are neglected, violence is increased, deaths are unstoppable because the community is used to children, teens, and adults dying. If one is thought of to be as crazy or different or has been caught with books, they are sent to insane asylums. In the society, nothing is being thought of which, therefore, everyone had the same knowledge, which that indicates that everyone behaved and was thought of as equal. Politics didn't matter. Racial problems did not matter. Colored people didn't like Little Black Sambo, so they burned it. White people didn't like Uncle Tom's Cabin, so they burned it. Serenity and peace was trying to be created, but was destroyed. Society created a whole new world which didn't allow people to think. More violence and less communion was thought of. Conflicts. Internal conflicts. Montag rejects book burnings when he realized that woman's suicide was held because she'd rather be considered death with knowledge. Internal conflict. Montag's acceptance of the new world, one of violence and conformity, wanting things to be as in the past, gentler with room for diverse ideas. Resolution. Montag starts reading books and thinking clearly. Montag and Beatty are planned in a violent confrontation, which Montag discovers his thoughts and is already planned out for war. He discovers the new city to join a band of wanderers or hobos who have memorized books in chronological order to keep decades of knowledge safe and available for future generations.
Technology. In the book, technology was similar as what we have today, including iPods, faster cars, and ATM machines. In the book, Mildred used a device like an iPod we have today. She uses it for entertainment. Today, iPods can be used for internet use, music, and more. Today, we have cars that are more compact and can travel at higher speeds. In the book, businesses have to use larger billboards for people to see. ATM machines are used for quick cash. In the time period of the book, people would have to wait a few days for a large amount of cash. Now, a lot of people use credit or debit cards. Bradbury believes that technology is the reason why books are being less used. He thinks that books teach people about history, the world around them, and things they do not understand.
One of Ray Bradbury's major themes is the importance of independent thought and intellectual freedom, because Bradbury sees reading a key method of intellectual curiosity. Another major theme is censorship, because owning and reading books is illegal. If the books are found, they are burned and the owner is arrested.
Important quotes. We must all be alike, not everyone born free and equal, as the Constitution says, but everyone made equal. A book is a loaded gun in the house next door. Burn it. Take the shot from the weapon. Breach man's mind. Beatty. Captain Beatty explains the revisionist history of firemen to Montag. It means that everyone is the same and everyone has to be equal. No one should have a book because it gives them knowledge and makes them think freely. So it was the hand that started it all. His hands have been infected, and soon it will be his arms. His hands were ravenous. Montag regards his hands as being infected from stealing the book, and he described how the guilt works its way to the rest of his body. The sun burnt every day. It burnt time. Time was busy burning the years and the people anyway, without any help from him. So if he burnt the firemen and sun burnt time, that meant everything burnt. In this passage, Montag uses the sun as he escapes the city and floats down the river.
Do you know why books such as this are so important? Because they have quality. And what does the word quality mean? To me, it means texture. This book has pores. Faber speaks these words to Montag toward the beginning, and he explains the importance of books. And according to Faber, Montag is in search of quality.